It's that time of the year again. It's the end of kayak season, and it's time to do the thorough winter maintenance on your kayak. I've got a longer video on this, so I just wanted to quickly summarize the 5-step process and show you just a little blip of each, but I'll put the link to my longer video that has more details down below. The first step, and you see I've already done that, is to totally strip it. Get everything off it, because after you clean it, which is the next step, you've got to inspect it. And inspecting is where you're going to find any problems, and they can't be covered up with dirt. And you can see that this year I even took out my drive unit, and I was stunned to find all this dirt hidden underneath it. In addition to stripping and cleaning your kayak, you need to do that for your gear as well. I couldn't believe how much stuff came off my kayak. Let me show you. I've got it all laid out. Here's all my gear. Here's the stuff I stripped off the right-hand side of my kayak. I want to keep that organized. Here's the stuff I stripped off the left-hand side of my kayak. That way I know where everything goes back. So let's get to the second step here, which is clean it. Got all these little pieces and parts I need to clean up now, especially my drive unit. And I'm going to take that down a little bit farther in terms of lubrication a little bit later. Time for the next step in the process, which is to do the inspection to identify the spots I need to repair. And what I'm looking for are the deep gouges. The little tiny turn-ups in my other video, you can see how I handle those, but I want to make sure that a deep gouge doesn't become a crack. And I do have a few of those that I need to fix that I'll show you now. What I'm looking for are deep cuts like this. I don't worry too much about these little turn-ups because I can fix those with a heat gun and just some pressure. But things like this could turn into a deeper crack. And here's another one here, and here's a big one right here where it was turned up. Also back in here, right here, don't like this. Now that I've identified what I need to repair, now I need to get to work. And it's best to do this before the weather turns cold, because you want the plastic on your kayak to be reasonably warm, so you don't have to heat it all the way up to get both the plastic and your repair material to melt together. I'm going to do this today before it turns cold. I noticed I had some erosion right in here where my boat hits the shore. And so what I did is I laid down a thick layer of HDPE using this tip, and then I go over it with the flat tip while having the heat gun on a low setting to allow the HDPE I laid down melt effectively. That way I can get it done a little bit quicker. And you can see the result here. Here's where I've already smoothed it over, and here's the area where I still have to work. It takes a while, but got to do it. Repair's done. Now it's time to optimize, and the first part of that is to do a light sanding on any place on the kayak where there's roughness. You know, ignore all the smooth, but you want to knock down any of the little fuzzies that have been curled up. And what I like to do is start with 400 grit, move to 600, and finish with 800. And again, this is a light sanding. Done with the sanding, the last step on optimization is to apply a protective coat to the bottom as well as the top of the kayak. Since I got the bottom up, I'm going to start here, and I use 303 protectant. So that's what I do for my winter maintenance. After I get all this done, now I got to put it all back together and make sure that all my bolts aren't rusted and everything works properly. Am I missing anything? Do you guys have anything else that should be done to store your kayak for the winter? Throw it down below. Thanks.